Okay, so now we're going to be starting the next topic on the wave function. So to start off with, I'm just going to do a bit of revision of functions of graphs and writing graphs out. So I'm given two graphs here, and we're told write the equations and state the maximum and minimum values. Right. So this one here. Well, first off, we need to think: is this a sine graph or is this a cos graph? Well, we can see it's a sine graph because it starts at 0 and then goes up, then down, then ends at 0 again. So for this first one, we know it's going to be y equals something sine x. And we can see that it does one oscillation in 360 degrees. So we know that this is just going to be a 1 here, but we don't need to write that in because we don't need to when it's 1. But what does it go, what will this a value be? Well, we can see that for a normal sine graph, you'd get something like this, and it goes up to 1 and then up to minus and down to -1, right? But this one goes up to 3 and down to -3. So the amplitude of this is going to be 3. So that's your final graph there. And what about this one? I'll do it in a different color. Well, this is a cos graph. And what will it show? It will show y equals, again, one period in 360 degrees, and it goes up to 4. So this will become 4 cos x. Okay, that might be a bit simple, but it's really important that we are really clear on these graphs moving forward. So what about these graphs? Sorry, no, we didn't finish this actually. Okay, and it says, and state the maximum and minimum values. Okay, so for number 1, the max value, well, we can see here it's going to be 3, and the minimum value is going to be -3, just there. And the same for this one here, be max is equal to 4, and min is equal to -4. Cool. So next part. So we're told to write the equations and state the maximum and minimum values of these functions here. But these come of the form of y equals sine x minus alpha, right? So they've been shifted by this angle alpha. But let's see if we can figure out what it is. So first off we want to think about y equals sine x minus alpha. That's the equation. And we can see that this goes to 1, -1, so it's just, there's no a in front of here, it's just a normal sine graph that's been shifted. So how can we figure out how much it's been shifted by? Well, usually a sine graph would start at 0, right? But this one isn't starting at 0, it's starting down here. But we can see here when it does cross 0, it's 30 degrees along where it usually be, right? So it's been shifted along to the right by 30 degrees. And over here, instead of ending at 360, it's 390. So it's, again, so what we write here is sine x minus 30, right? And then for this one here, we're looking at cos. They're saying this one's a cos graph, and usually it would start at 1 and 0, but it's starting at 0, 1, but it's now starting at 45 and 1. So this just comes y equals cos x minus 45. And again, the min is equal to -1, max equal to 1, and the same with this one. Min equal 1, max equal -1. Oh, wrong way around. But here's a question that will come up that is good to understand. We're only told to state them, but we might be asked to state where they happen, right? Where do they happen? Where do you get these values? Okay, where we get the max minimum? Well, before, it's always the same. We always get it maximum at 90, minimum at 270. Same here, maximum at, or minimum at 180 and maximum at 0 and 360. They're the standard ones. But sometimes it's going to be shifted. So this one, so we would have expected the maximum to happen here at 90 degrees, but because it's been shifted 30 degrees this way, we need to figure out that the max is going to be equal to 90 plus 30, which is going to be equal to 120 degrees. And the minimum, instead of being at 270, is going to be another 30 degrees along. So this is going to be equal to 300. And the same down here. So the minimum is going to occur at 180 plus 45, and the max is going to occur at 0 plus 45 and 360 plus 45. It's a bit squashed in there. So what is this? 80 plus 45 equals 1, 2, 5, and then this will be, and then the max will be at 45, and 360 plus 45 would be 405. Okay, so just bear that in mind moving forward. If you're unsure of this, maybe you need to go back and revisit the graphs of functions topic just to make sure you understand what's going on.